This is Sports with Blake.
Try not to get knocked out, Dan, right? I don't have insurance here, right? there's no ambulances coming for you, bro.
Well, God loves a traitor. Here we go, that's my march, that's my spirit there. Knocked out in glory of God.
I'll just get the hose, mate.
Your shorts next time.
We're lucky as well. It's
When
raining.
he get wrapped by a champion, though. God, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Officially, the king of Britain, mate. King of GB.
Yeah, bro.
I love it. That's what it's about. The match, we've got the family vibes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, nah, it's good. It's always good energy in that.
Yeah, happy vibes. It's not just like serious.
No, we always like all of us will banter during the break, and then once the break's done, we'll get straight to hard work. Yeah. And when we finish, we'll have our little joke. But when it's work time, we work. You know what I'm saying? And we banter. The banter's good because like when we're working. Yeah. If someone's slacking, we'll banter you all day. So you don't want to get bantered. So you know you got to work hard every day, otherwise you're going to be the victim.
Yeah. The hill runs look serious as well.
See them runs? They're not realistic. They're not realistic. Like a triangle, that's not realistic. Them stuff there is a different thing. So what I'm going to do, you're going to throw 1-2s constantly for a minute and see how many you can do.
Alright, let's do it. I love it. See? Before we get into this, guys, this is the Sporting Challenge. I'm here with the British light heavyweight champion, Craig the Spider Richards. Dan Blake, the champion of just praying to God that I survived this challenge right here. So that's the challenge. But it's all good. We're going to have some fun. It's a Sporting Challenge. Sports with Blake. Come on, let's do it.
You ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go.
We working. Woo!
Hey guys! Two, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. 200. Jeez. Woo! See that work right there? Come on, we working.
Hey.
Come on.
What's that, alright?
Very good work. You know, you're top on the scoreboard right now.
Oh, right. Okay. 200s to beat, is it?
200 to beat. 200 to beat.
Nicely done.
See? Sporting Challenge. Dan Blake. Craig the Spider Richards.
Come on.
Yeah.
We working.
You working, man? We out here.
Sports with Blake. Sports with Blake. We're back again, episode 4. Dan Blake in the house. I'm joined by the British light heavyweight champion, Craig the Spider Richards. Welcome, bro.
Thanks, bro. Thank you.
Pleasure to have you.
A pleasure being here.
In the flesh. You know.
Come on.
Obviously, we know each other for many years.
Yes.
People don't know, but you know, it's a big backstory. Craig the Spider Richards, his journey I've followed, supported,
Definitely supported.
and
Always
just
supported.
seen the growth and progress in you. And I'm really happy that you stand here today as the British light heavyweight champion.
Yes, I'm happy to be the British lightweight champion.
This is it. It's an incredible title to have. You know, representing the country like this. It's excellent, bro.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Means a lot, you know. It's always nice because obviously my aspirations and goals is always to come into the game to be world champion. But I believe that before you step out to go and represent into the world, you got to dominate your own country, your home turf first. So to crown that and be the British champion, I feel like I can go and now represent Britain with pride to say like I was the champion of my country, and now I'm here to represent the country and go and win against other countries now.
Let's take it back and find out, why did you start boxing?
I just started at first just for a bit of fun, followed my cousin down the gym, and then kind of just gave me a little purpose to do. And then originally, cut a long story short, I ended up going back to boxing because I wanted to go uni. My registration messed up, so I went to pass time for the year. And then I started winning some stuff, winning championships, getting fighter of the nights and stuff, and stuck to it. And 3 years on, I got signed with Peter Sims in Matchroom Boxing.
And your cousin that got you into boxing, was it Danny Wright?
He got me back into boxing again. First it was my cousin Reese, and then Danny Wright
Big shout
asked
to
me at
Danny.
17 to come to Lynn, and we started sparring down there. And I still was just like going there sparring with the seniors. And then the head coach left. Then I took time out of boxing again. Then he created his own gym. Then I went to his new gym with him because he's the one who believed in me in boxing. He's always pushing me, telling me, I'm telling you, my man, you keep boxing, you'll be the champion. So shout out Terry Palmer because he really done a lot for me. He's the one who made me believe myself as a boxer. And I've done my whole amateur career with him. And then, moved on.
And you mentioned the Lynn. Is that the gym in Old Kent Road?
Yeah, Old Kent Road. So it was in Peckham between the Burgess Parks. So I was down there to start up.
Excellent, man. Big shout out to Danny. We was training by there the other day,
Oh, is it,
Burgess,
yeah?
having a little sparring together. Big shout out to Danny Wright.
Sick.
Um,
Shout out
and
Danny.
you was training today, your big training session today. I would like to know, like, what did the training entail today on your way here? What was the training session like today? Tell us about that.
Today we just done a bit of cardio, a bit of skipping, a bit of routine drill work, some defense work, some skill work really. Just a bit of boxing, all boxing based work more today. Nothing too heavy. Just came off a heavy hand injury, so I've just been getting back in and finding my feet again to get prepared for the next showing.
And we'll talk about the next shows later on in the show, but let's take it way back to that moment I was telling you about before, when in your early journeys I was obviously following your progression, and I remember seeing you at the tube station, the underground station. I was going to work. I was like, "Where you off to, man?" He was like, "I'm off to training." I see you with your equipment ready to go. It was an early day, and I was like, ever since that moment, I was full circle think, wow, it's been a different journey for you to see you there on your way to training on the underground. To see you now with a big bimmer.
Oh, it was a big Merc. Yeah.
Like doing your
Yeah.
thing as the champ, as a successful career, years later. Tell us about that moment to now, man. How's the journey been for you, bro?
Been so different. I remember it was a stage where obviously I was always doing quite well generally in life, or just doing what I needed to do, and then I made that transition where I was going to dedicate myself to boxing.
Yeah.
So I took a step back in life and grinding. Your friends are still enjoying life and going out and stuff, and you're there as you see me on the tubes with my heavy bag full to the brim because you can't leave anything at home because it's not like you got a car or a boot. Training so hard, getting up early, starting 8:30 in East London, finishing at 3:30, 6 days a week, and then 4 of them days I was going to the gym in the evening, 7 till 10. So I was literally just training all day, 6 days a week pretty much, grinding, not really much income because you're not working, you're paying out to go to the gym. So you're just doing a bit of PT and a bit of this and that here and there to just make ends meet. So it was a hard grind and up until a couple years of that, until I had my professional debut, and then just pushing on from there, and the progress has been great. God's good.
I want to talk about if people follow boxing, and if you don't, Craig Richards, he's been establishing the game for a while, and there's a lot of history on him, so you should always do your research.
Come on.
But I want to talk about, on reflection of your last fight, Dimitri Bivol. On reflection, what's your thoughts on that fight, man?
Maybe I gauged a few of the rounds wrong. It was a tight fight, but it was one of them situations maybe if it was just two ordinary people, it could have been a draw, whatever. But being the challenger, which I should have known better, being a challenger, I usually like to go for the KO.
Yeah.
I thought I could just do enough to nick the rounds, and maybe I just need to start a bit faster. Being a round short on the Russian and the English judges' scorecards, 1 round off from being world champion. Just makes me know if I started a round earlier and being more aggressive at certain times, I would be world champion now.
Yeah, 100%. And when I reflect on that fight, I just see as you were saying, I thought you convincingly won round 1. Round 5 was a strong round for you, and then rounds, I would say 9 to 12 were very strong for you as well, as you were getting on the front foot more.
Yeah.
You was letting your hands go constantly then, and you was really getting into your swagger and feeling
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. I think there was definitely 6 rounds that you could definitely tip in my favour, which that's what I'm saying. I worked much in it. A lot of people said afterwards could have went either way, probably down the middle, 6 rounds apiece.
Yeah.
Couple of judges, they only put him only 1 round, 5 rounds to 7. They scored it. So this is the Super World champion, and to come up to that level and just come up short to be Super Bowl champion is disappointing because to be fair, I had more gears to go through and I didn't go through them, so I could have definitely easily become world champion. Not easily, but I definitely had the tools to become the world champion that day.
But now you've gone from British level straight to attempt at world level, and obviously I was just saying to you on the phone, there must kind of be like some anxiety in between going into that kind of fight, and then now you've gone to that level and seen that you can mix it at that level. It should have you kind of extremely confident going into a next world title bout that you'll be ready to hopefully get that belt and take it home.
Well, 100%. It's like my career. My career's kind of been like that. I've never taken no easy routes from the first time I stepped up. 6 fights in, fighting guys, 12-0, 6 KOs for Southern Area titles. I took that, won that, and then I jumped to the weight above. 5 days notice for the British title against the British champion at weight above. Come up short. Knew what the game was about at that level. Came back, dominated, cleaned up the division, beating guys 10-0, 12-1, 14-0. Won the British, dominated the British scenes after having a feel out of what it's about. Done that, and then now I've moved to world level. I had a feel out, come around short, and now I want to come clean up and dominate at world level now. So it's kind of, I think the path's written. It's just for me to now put the work in, not get complacent, work hard and progress and clean up. Yeah.
So I've seen that from what it looks like online. I think you got a mandatory for your belt coming up, right? But what would you say, now reflecting on the world title shot, what would you say is the route now to a world level shot now? For the future, well, where on the map do you see the next route to that title? To a title shot?
Well, I leave that down to my team, my management team, my promoter Eddie Hearn. They kind of decide all of that. I just literally get told, right, this is the date, this is who you got. I get in there, fight. That's why they got their jobs and I got my job. That's why their job's to manage and my job just to fight. So they know what I want to get the world title. So they've just got to do what they got to do to get me there.
That's interesting that you say that, because I feel like certain fighters are more emotionally invested in kind of like very kind of super strategic on kind of like what kind of route they want to take. But it's kind of refreshing that you say that you're focused on the boxing, you trust your team, you know the belt, you know you want a world title, so they've got to map out the route.
They know what that. They know, and they've got to do the job to get me to that spot. So. You know me, I've never ducked or dodged anyone. If whatever I got to do to get to win that belt, I will do. So, I believe I trust my team, and I believe they'll push me to the best route or what the possible route they can get me to winning that world title.
That's great, and that takes great composure and emotional composure and content to kind of feel that way, and trust that way, which is a good. As I feel like it's a key quality to having such a physical sport that you have, that you're in. Mentally as well, to have to over worry about that side at the same time you're boxing, you know what I mean? It's not. I
feel great. Like early in your career you think about this stuff because you know that you got a lot to learn. I feel like the stage I'm at in my career now, I've boxed the very best, so who am I going to duck now? Do you get what I'm saying? You've been in there at the highest level, so clearly I've got the tools to look after myself in that ring at whatever level. So now it's just what's best career wise to achieve the goals we need to achieve, not really on who's the opponent.
Lovely. And Dimitri Bivol, he came out on top that night, and I'm hearing that he was supposed to possibly fight Canelo next. So I was just thinking, I was saying to you on the phone, like, if you would have, you nearly won that belt that night, and if you would have won that belt, you would have been next in line. Canelo would have been looking at you, trying to get in the ring with you for that belt. So how would you, just, it still could happen. How would you beat someone like Canelo? Because you've seen it, people have seen this guy fight. They've tried different analogies of how they would beat him, and they've kind of come off short. In your mind, Craig the Spider Richards, how would you beat Canelo?
Well, I think like most fighters, they fear the fighters before they get in the ring. You see, like I watched the Callum Smith fight. I felt like he could have been a bit more composed, use his assets better. I feel like it's hard. Like people get overwhelmed with it. And these are the sort of fighters that people dodge. But as you see, like Dimitri Bivol is a fighter people dodge. But I don't worry about fighting these guys. If Canelo would just be another human being that I'll be fighting. So I'll go in there and stick to the game plan, whatever's been told to do. I've got enough punch power at light heavyweight. He's not actually a light heavyweight, and I can punch very hard at light heavyweight. I'm very tall for the weight, and I can box. I've got a good IQ, and I'm quite skillful. So I won't get tricked into silly traps either. And I believe that, yeah, anyone I can get in there, especially at light heavyweight, I can get the job done.
Even if he tries to put like a 7-minute J Balvin performance before he's got into the ring with you.
I'll sit there composed.
Throw you off.
I'll get my stool out and just put my feet up, and then I'll do a bit of pads as he's walking out to warm back up. Might not even do my warm up in the change room. I might just do my warm up when he's walking out. Get a 7-minute warm up.
Oh, mate. And the landscape of the light heavyweight division, you know, Yard, Boatsi. I feel like, you know, there was a post the other day on the Zone putting some of the best British light heavyweights together on a poster. Who's the top of the division? Your name was getting talked about a lot as someone that's fought a lot of tough opponents, as you said before to me, and you passed the test. And I feel like people are realizing that, and they're putting that out there more vocally online, which I felt they didn't do before.
The thing is, what it is, it's like, people don't really know boxing. Like, there's no experts in boxing, so I don't know why people always say, "Oh, this boxing expert said," because there's no experts in boxing. So what people do is, because like boxing's kind of a sport like English in the subject, where like football's like maths.
Yeah.
If you score, you've got a point. So it's like pretty straightforward. With boxing's opinionated. What you like? Do you like body shots? Did he hit hard? Do you like power shots? What are you scoring? So there's no definitive answer. So everyone's very unsure of themselves when it comes to an opinion of boxing. So until they hear like the biggest promoters talk about that guy, or the biggest pundits talking about that guy, they're scared to say it publicly to look stupid, like they don't know boxing. So it's like, if you hear, for example, Eddie saying, "Oh, Boats is the best thing in world boxing," you're going to say, right, Eddie said it, so I have to say it. If you're saying Frank Warren saying he's the best, you've got to then go and say, well, he's obviously a promoter, he knows boxing, so I better just go with what he's saying. But in my DMs and in my inboxes, millions of people messaging me, "I think you're the best." But they don't want to go out on the platforms to make themselves look silly to say it. But I'm like, why is everyone so confident in my DMs? Why don't you say it vocally? Do you know what I'm saying? But I feel the fact is that it's not rocket science. If you look at the light heavyweight division, there's nobody who has a better CV than me. There's no one who has beat the guys I've beat. No one you look at has beat guys 14-0, 12-0, 10-0, 12-1. There's no other light heavyweight who's done that. So I think like if the public was more sure of themselves and really looked at it like what it is, it's clear to see who should be the best light heavyweight. But I'm not here to worry and complain about that. I've got a job to do, innit?
Yeah, this is it. But obviously, I feel like within the media, there's a sense of this the neutral, play it neutral all the way through to kind of save face, kind of thing, and not really say who you really think's got the minerals, you know. But I feel, you know, I feel like that's why I like I don't know, correspondence. Like I like Johnny Nelson. He says it how it is.
Yeah.
You know, he'll say, you know, if he thinks a fighter will win the fight or not. Just. You know,
he don't care about looking silly, because the thing is, he knows that there's no right or wrong answers. He's been in boxing long enough, so he'll just say his opinion. People might laugh at him, people might not, but at the end of the day, everyone's got an opinion. Look, if you go, like, if you walk down the street right now, you go into, alright, forget walking down the street. If you go into the Sky Sports studio boxing part, the DAZN boxing studio, or the Warren studio, and you asked 50 people, Fury or AJ, you'll probably get down a split mid, maybe 40-60. So what are you going to say? Half them don't know their boxing? No, it's an opinionated. That's what boxing is, opinion. Who do you believe is going to win? It's not like a factual answer. And that's why I say that it's like English. You know, when you're writing creative writing or or write a story and the teacher likes where you're going with that, she'll mark certain things. But even football, it's like you score, it's 1. You know what I'm saying? If he scores, it's 2. Like, it's facts. Like, he won the game because he scored 2 goals. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like that with boxing. And that's why it's so complicated and opinionated.
And I always thought it's interesting with scorecards and stuff like that, because you have to look at the scorecards at the end of the fight. So there's a lot of anxiety in the sport in general, because it's not like football, innit? You know the score, 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah,
at
you
the
know,
time.
you just get into 90 minutes, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, if we just hold on
Yeah.
here with one.
So I feel
You
like
don't know in
yeah,
boxing.
mate, why don't they just change the rules? Like at the end of every round, just like, hey,
Boxing
this is
one of
the
them things that's
scorecards.
stuck in its ways. It's
Yeah.
like, this is the blueprint for it.
Yeah.
We're not changing the system because this is how it's always been since 1868 or whatever. So it's one of them ones that's just stuck on how it is and it doesn't want to modify things.
Because I thought it'd be interesting if it was like they would mix it up. Because I feel that's a secret anxiety for the fighter that a fighter doesn't really need.
But
It's
then,
not fair.
but then,
even.
do you feel like it might cut some of the interest?
No, I feel like it's just like mindset wise. You see how football is, because if a goal goes in 1-0, then the tactics are changing. They know the score, so they're thinking, all right, I
For
may change
example,
my style.
For example, if you know a boxer is not a puncher, he don't really KO a lot of people, and then you get to round 7 and the other guy's winning 7 rounds and there's 5 left. You know this guy ain't going to knock him out and he can only win 5 rounds. You could just go out. You're not going to watch the rest of the fight.
I feel like some people would sway to either way. Some people may like that kind of style.
Yeah.
Even some fighters may like to know, instead of at the end, then you're waiting to see if
Some might walk out though. Might be round 10, he knows he's got nothing left.
it's a sport.
And it might be like 11th round in.
Yeah.
If he knows he's just not even boxing anymore, he's just swinging for his head, just trying to get the KO. Like it could change the whole game plan of boxing though.
But you know what? Eddie Hearn, maybe an idea, exhibition vibes.
Yeah, do you know what? I think they should
fun.
have like an exhibition boxing of that, like a general rules. Maybe they can, so many belts, they can make another belt for that rule.
This is it. And let me host it. All good.
Yeah, son, sure, done.
And let's talk about the zone. Game changed. I'm loving the logo, the branding. I'm loving seeing yourself. One of my favourites. My favourite British light heavyweight, Craig the Spider Richards.
Come on, he's a smart man. That's why.
Yeah, that's it. And just love seeing you, the branding, the posters up, seeing you there, and knowing how monumental the deal is between Matchroom and the Zone, and seeing how powerful the Zone is worldwide. I'm a subscriber. I'm early. Got my little early
I'm a
subscription.
subscriber as
There
well.
we go.
Even as a fan, I've been paying for the Zone for ages before I've been boxing on it.
Yeah, this is it.
It's a bargain.
Yeah, it's a bargain. I'm loving seeing it. And you were telling me about the big launch event. Was it last night?
Last night was brilliant.
And tell us about that, man. Tell us about.
Oh,
what
it
the
was
vibe
brilliant.
like.
We went down there, got invited to the launch, new DAZN launch. There was a lot of public figures there, in there, my jammer, etc., etc.
Yeah.
All these kind of things, different footballers, artists, comedians, boxers, and then you got the DAZN team in there launching, the Matchroom team. So you had people from different dimensions, but it was such a beautiful place, nice place. Bar, food, everything was free all night. I see everyone getting their fair share as well. Eddie's pocket's probably low right now. No, I think his pocket's endless. But it was it was very good launch. And Eddie's a guy, when he does something, he does it very well. I just wouldn't want to be one of his competitors as a promoter, because he's the sort of man who's you wouldn't want to bet against him. He's ruthless, he's competitive, and he'll do what he can to win. He goes the extra mile and he works very hard. He's a very clever man. So he's smart enough he's seen the Sky, he's been with Sky for many years, but he's looked at the future. And if you even see the way he does things, like he knows that everything's changing digital market. So everyone's got smart TVs now. More time when you turn your TV on, how many times you click channel 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
You either click YouTube, Netflix, something like that. So he understands that. He's looked at the market, the young generation coming up, and that's why he's gone to digital market. He knows now you get all sports from UFC to boxing to whatever you're into. At the moment, £2 a month for a whole month subscription of boxing, UFC, football. So it must be something what interests you. So even if you subscribe because there's a football game you might want to watch and you're thinking, £2 a month, or I might subscribe for UFC. These are all these subscriptions. So you're getting a good package. He's understood that. So business-wise, he's strategic. If you look at like even a launch event, why do you think he's getting all these young public figures at the thing? He knows they're the future where they've got all the audience. So they're attracting more audience to his shows. He's a very, very clever man. And I know, being in his hands, I'm definitely on the right team.
Love it. And as I was trying to say, you've been a day one, I would say, Matchroom signing. You've had a long, illustrious career of Matchroom, and it's very nice to see you have a good relationships in the gym with your stable mates, Cordina, Connor, Ben, loads of laughs and jokes and banter. And it's good to see that in boxing because it's a tough sport. But sometimes perception could be like, oh, these guys are just angry guys, mean.
Yeah.
But like, it's good to see. That's more to the casuals fans, but it's good to see when you're on social media and stuff, you're showing just
Different
banter and
sides.
jokes, different sides of your personalities,
Yeah.
which I commend. I love to see that, and it encourages people to be like, oh yeah, these guys have fun as well. While
Yeah,
they're
they're
in the gym.
approachable.
They're approachable. That's
Yeah.
it.
There's many times that my mom's told me that she's been at shows and
Yeah.
people are tapping her saying, oh, do you think you can talk to him so I can get a picture? And she's like, I'll just go and ask him. Like, I'm not going to approach him. She's like, he's cool. He's like, he's all right. She's like, nah, he's not. But they're probably just watching you punch someone's head in. You're coming out the ring, they're like, he's definitely not approachable. But because they're just thinking you're that guy in the ring all the time. But they don't understand you're actually a normal person.
Yeah.
Outside, that's your job. You enjoy doing that. I'm not going to say I don't enjoy it. But outside of that, you're just the regular person who doesn't, just normal. We're not monsters. We're not like machines.
Yeah, this is it. So the future's bright. Matchroom, the Zone. Just tell us about. Obviously, you had a long relationship being on Sky Sports and growing up as a youngster. Our age group, Sky Sports was like
the
proper
thing,
thing.
popping,
innit? Like,
yeah.
So what. You had some great memories and great moments on Sky
Oh,
Sports
100%.
as well,
I have.
yeah.
I boxed some good times, even we was talking about earlier with the British title first time round. I think that's actually, box on that Sky Sports box office show, that's the biggest boxing event in history in capacity-wise ever, the Joshua Tacken one.
Oh, wow.
It's done the most numbers, so I've enjoyed shows on there. The Golovkin, Kell Brook fight, I boxed on Sky Sports on the card. There's been so many great cards I have had at Sky, and guys like Adam Smith, I like Adam Smith. He's a real good guy, head of Sky of Boxing. Got a good relationship with him. So, I've no bad word to say about them, but I just know that Eddie's obviously seen the future has gone digital, and he doesn't want to be left on a sinking ship eventually.
Yeah,
So he,
for real.
yeah.
Yeah, man, big up. The future's bright. What would you say quickly is the most important tools to be a boxer for up-and-coming boxers?
Dedication.
Yeah.
Hard work and dedication. So when you hear like Floyd chanting that, you think it's just cliche, but literally them two things, being working, the work effort, the dedication to it, is so important. Like I see people sometimes like training here or there, doing a hard session here 1 week, probably not committed to the lifestyle. It's like even yesterday at the launch yesterday, everyone was like drinking, getting things. Everyone's like, oh, have this, have a shot. I'm like, oh, I don't drink. Everyone's like, what do you mean you don't drink? We're at a launch party. I'm like, yeah, like boxing ain't just I work hard in the gym and then outside I'm a normal human. It's the dedication outside of the gym as well as inside of the gym. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
It's not just working hard in the gym and going home having burger and chips and a rosé wine. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure your diet, your lifestyle, your sleeping patterns, like an athlete.
Exactly. It's not like, can I get a rosé?
Yeah, come on.
But like, this is what I respect about you for so long, because I know this, knowing you personally. Like, I know you don't drink. I know you're dedicated to your fitness, your training. You take it very seriously. So it's good to see that, through your whole career, that's the kind of attitude you've adapted, and you haven't you haven't let peer pressure get to you.
Nah, you got to understand it's like a average 10-year span. Say for instance boxing, sometimes obviously a lot longer, could be a bit shorter, but average minimum 10 years. You're dedicating yourself to something where you could change your whole life around. Why not give it the solid decade plus and seeing how far you can get, how much money you can make, how much you can achieve, and how much legacy you can leave? Because once your time's up, 10, 15 years in the sport, you're living like the rest of your life where you can do what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have all the money you want, all the time in the world you want. You can drink as much as you want.
Yeah.
Go partying as much as you want, and it's one of them careers that you retire quite young compared to other careers. So you have a life to do what you want after. So while you're in it, dedicate yourself to it.
Let's talk about the divisions of fighting right now.
Wait, hold on 1 second. But none of my opponents, though, just drink as much as you want.
Get hammered, mate.
Get smashed. It's about living your best life all the time.
Living the best life.
Tell them again.
And let's talk about some fights that's coming up. There's Pacquiao, Spence. Thoughts on that?
Do you know what? At first I just thought Spence will just walk through him.
Yeah.
Watching him in training, Pacquiao's looking sharp. He's back with Freddie Roach.
Yeah.
He's looking good. So the fight would be more competitive than people maybe anticipate. And it's one of them fights as a boxing fan, I'm looking forward to watching.
Can you call it? Who do you think is going to win?
I would tip towards Spence.
Okay.
But I would say it's not just it could be a walk in the park. Boxing's like that.
Yeah.
As I say earlier, it's just my opinion, but it just depends on who turns up on the night. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With boxing's weird. It's like you don't know the camp they've had. You don't know what their life's been going on in the background. You don't know how sharp or what Pacquiao's got left.
Yeah.
You know, if you looked at Furman Pacquiao, you'd have said that was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
Next minute you see Furman on his bum and Pacquiao taking his world title shot and killing his unbeaten record. So boxing's always full of surprises.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the fight.
Joe Joyce Takan just recently just happened.
Good fight.
Interesting fight there. It was a bit of an early stoppage, you reckon?
You say that, but it's too many unanswered punches.
Yeah, he wasn't
You know, it's all good
responding.
protesting and pushing the referee afterwards, but
Yeah.
what was you doing when a man was punching you in the face for 10 minutes? You wasn't answering, your legs are wobbling. Look, if he got himself seriously hurt and he left him 5 more seconds, everyone would have said, you saw his legs dip twice, he got punched how many times, he wasn't answering back. So why did you let it go on?
And I feel like, no disrespect to Takan, but I feel like, ain't that kind of like a schoolboy tactic? Like, you know, like when you're fighting someone at school and this brother you're thinking maybe punch you up, but you're trying to like put up like you're going to go out on a crazy one, get people to hold you back.
Yeah, it's a hold me back kind of tactic. Let's get a hammer in.
'Cause you know
when the
people
ref
like-
finally saves it, it's like, what are you doing? I was about to start doing a madness. No, you wasn't. You was getting punched up, and that's it. Steve Gray is an A-star referee, so he knows when to call it. When I boxed Jake Bull, he was the referee. He had to stop it.
Yeah.
Jake Bull the same thing. What are you doing? Like, they always do the fake protest once
fake
the referee
protest,
saves them.
yeah.
But it's just to save face.
Yeah.
You know, if your crowd's there, your girlfriend's watching, your mum's watching, your aunt you ain't seen in years has come to the show, you're getting hammered and you get stopped and you're like, thank you. Then everyone be like, what happened to you? But if you're like, it was premature. I wanted to. Everyone's like, don't worry, it's a cheat. Next time. You know, you get that
so
fake
it feels
support.
good,
So
wouldn't it?
yeah, it's the fake.
Yeah.
But in reality, I don't think it was premature.
Yeah.
Obviously, I did the way he looked alright when it got stopped. Even at first, I was like, oh yeah, they stopped. He looks alright. But then, nice. I was like, hold on, he was getting punched in the head for 30 seconds with no unanswered punches. And they say if you get punched for a period of time and you're not answering back, then the ref has to stop it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you hear in America, do you know it's a lot easier sometimes in America because the Americans vocalize during the fight what's going on. So you hear the referee say, you're not punching back, you're not firing back, I'm going to have to stop it. If you take any more shots, I'm going to...
Yeah, then they just stop.
Then they wave it off.
Communicate.
But in UK, they'll just watch it, do their job, right, 3 punches with 3 more, I'm going to stop it, 3 more, boom, they jump in. So because he's not vocally saying it, people start being able to have the fake protest where the Americans will say, you're not answering back. So the crowd can hear, they understand what's going on, and then, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it was premature. In reality, at first at the time, I was like, oh, look, he's okay, but, yeah.
AJ Usyk, the fight's been announced September. Thoughts on that fight?
Good fight, you know. People always, you know, when you're good at your job, sometimes it can be your biggest downfall. So like AJ is a very good operator, so everyone just expects him to blow everyone out. Everyone's not meant to be a challenge, but it's like look, Takam Joshua fought, he took him out in 11th round. Chisora boxed Takam, took him out in 6 rounds. Now Usyk went and beat Chisora. So it shows that he can compete with these heavyweights. And he's very skillful. He's the unified champ at the weight below, which you only got to be £2 heavier to make the weight up. He's a lot heavier now, so he can operate. We know he's good. He's won medals as amateur. I think won a gold in the Olympics as well. So he's a good operator. He's got a good IQ. Joshua is a very good heavyweight. He's very explosive, very fast, very... You know, so I'm obviously going to tip towards Joshua and say Joshua will get the job done, but I just don't think it's a walk in the park how everyone's anticipating. Don't know, the size could be a major factor to make it a walk in the park, but Usyk as an operator, he's not rubbish.
Wow, great to get your opinion on that, man. Let's talk Olympics. You been watching the Olympics?
Oh, I was gonna lie and say I have, but I haven't. You know, I've been quite busy recently.
What do you think of
But I want to watch the rest of it though.
Yeah, I had a little look, and boxing wise, what do you think of Caroline de Boer?
Oh, I've watched her for years. And
Yeah.
she's come down to my amateur club when I was amateur.
Oh, brilliant.
And I've
Yeah.
watched her spar.
Yeah.
She's a brilliant operator. Very good operator. She's unbeaten as an amateur. They didn't want to put her in the Olympics because they had their number one.
Yeah.
And she was a junior. And she came back and was like, listen, you don't want to put me in because I'm a junior or I ain't competed before. You've got number one. This should be based on talent.
Yeah.
I'm beating the number one. So why wouldn't I be in? So she pushed for it and got what she wanted.
Yeah.
They put her in the Olympics, and I believe she'll do very well. I think she'll probably medal.
Yeah, she looks like a serious operator, man.
She's a serious operator.
And I think I was saying, I bumped into the gym. I bumped into her in the gym. I was in the gym in Lewisham, and bumped into Daniel, the bar, her and her little brother all training together.
Oh, serious?
Yeah, it was good, man.
They always travel together. I remember I used to spar Daniel the bar, and he used to come down.
Yeah.
The whole family, the dad, I like dad to get on well with him as well. The sister will be there, the brothers, the whole lot will come in, and then they'll try and arrange sparring for the whole family. And wherever they go, they just travel together, and it's nice.
That.
The dad takes them everywhere.
I love that, man. What would you say your top 5 throwback fights are, real quickly? Give me your top 5 throwback fighters instead.
Can I say Floyd as a throwback?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's retired.
Floyd is definitely an operator. Lennox Lewis is underrated. He was a very good operator. He beat everyone who beat him. He's got good names on his resume as well. See, it's hard because I can't name one without the other 4 when you're talking about the Hagler, Hearns, Sugar Ray, Durans and that. It's hard to... But I watched Prince Nassim growing up.
Yeah, Nassim's one of mine, 100%.
I like Nassim, but I always rated Barrera.
Yeah.
Who else? So who am I at now? Lewis, Floyd. I've probably named about 100. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Ali. Obviously, it was before my era, but I watched back of the Rumble in the Jungle, seeing him, Frazier and that. There's so many. I love so many fighters. It's hard for me just to pick 5.
No, I'll take that, bro. But you know what? I know people are intrigued to know these kind of questions here. So I want to know, like, away from boxing, what's your number 1 hobby, bro? What do you do when you're not training, bro? Like, you're not fighting. You're just Craig outside the gym.
Pre-train.
Huh?
Pre-train. But not training, I'm pre-training. I do like to do youth work as well, like give back to the community, help young boys who may be getting led off down the street or going to schools, have talks with kids, because I think it's very important. I think like that had a good influence on me coming up when I was getting led off the wrong path, and I believe that when I had people who I could relate to push me in the right direction, kept me on track.
I love that. And like, diet wise, what is your diet, bro? Like, what kind of foods are you putting into your body? Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everyone trying to get in shape out here. What does Craig fuel the engine with? That's a key question.
If I told you that, the opponents were here and they'll be as strong as me.
Well, like, give us a B. I don't know. Okay. Give us a B-Tech version. Of it.
Eggs are good.
Yeah,
it's for the morning.
Generic. Yeah. What kind of eggs?
Poached eggs would be good.
Yeah, poached eggs.
Porridge. Porridge is good with some fruit.
Talk. Yeah.
Yeah. Salmon and rice. Salmon vegetables is very good. Yeah, like clean food like that.
Love that. And we saying you watching Love Island?
I don't really. I've watched a couple little bits here and there. I ain't watched the last couple of days. I've been a little bit busy, but it looked of what I've seen okay. I don't really watch stuff like that though.
It's interesting to see your take on this kind of topics out there. You know, the general social topics out there and stuff. But Dipset D Block. What's your thoughts on that? Versus coming up.
I saw that. Yeah. You know, that's big. That's big. You know, obviously everyone was D Block fans back in the day and whatnot. So, yeah, it's gonna be good.
Who's your favourite though, Dipset or D Block? Who would you go for the versus win in that one?
I don't know. No, it's gonna be interesting.
It's gonna be that one's gonna be tight, right? It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be close. Mindset when you wake up, bro. What's the first thing you think of when you get up? What's your mindset for life?
Look at my tasks and make sure I complete everything for my day.
And that's 100% every day.
Every day.
Every day. And we do a thing on my show, we call it the language check. So I want to see, like, what's a boxing language check sound like? So what kind of slang in the boxing gym that you say that we wouldn't have no idea what that means, that you could share with us now? Or like a secret code when you're in the ring and it's like fight or flight and he's telling your coach is telling you something subliminal or something.
Dig deep.
Oh, dig deep. Okay.
Dig deep. Means when you got nothing left, just keep pushing.
Love that. And tell us about the next fight. When you back out? When you back in the ring?
Out October. The T's and I's got to be crossed and dotted. So we'll go over that in the next few weeks and see what we got next. But we know we're trying to get back towards that world title shot. That's the aim. We don't know what route it's gonna. I don't know what route it's gonna be, but my team's obviously in charge of that at the minute.
This is it. And Craig, just a quick message to your supporters and fans out there. If anything you would like to say to them, let it be known now, my bro.
Just want to say thank you for the support. Continue supporting me. Thanks for the DMs who always say, I believe you're the best light heavyweight in the country, but don't be shy. Say it publicly. Thanks everyone.
Pleasure. So I've been joined by Craig the Spider Richards, British light heavyweight champion. Dan Blake in the house, episode 4. Let's wrap it up. Gardener Rhythm. But this is what you need to do before we go, though. You need to make sure that you come to the Garden of Rhythm to get your podcasts in, like we're doing right now. Get your vocal recordings in. Get all your music. If you're a producer, musician, anything to do with audio, come to the Garden of Rhythm. GardenerRhythm.com for the information. And they also have massive events going on where live performers can perform. And, get yourself out there. So make sure you go on the website, you get your tickets, and you support the Garden of Rhythm and everything they do. Tell them Dan Blake sent you.
We working.
All right, peace.
Come on.
Sports with Blake.
On Dan Blake TV on YouTube.
Dan meets sports fanatics and some of the biggest sports entertainment stars